to react to some of the top soccer headlines. And interesting news coming out of FIFA adjusting transfer rules for the 25 Club World Cup being played in the US. FIFA has agreed on some interim transfer policies allowing players to be able to change their teams and be able to go to the Club World Cup and represent the new teams that they signed for in this, expanded Club World Cup that's set to start in next June. This moves the move essentially opens the door for players that have contracts expiring on usually it's June 30th. It allows those players to sign early as free agents for any of the 32 teams that have qualified for this new expanded version of the Club World Cup. We know some of the potential free agents out there: Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk. There's also Son Heung-min. There's a lot of brilliant players that are up under contract. Joshua Kimmich also as well. It seems like Bayern will get that done, but there's players that will be available. De Bruyne, Alphonso Davies, and if they want to make that move to a new team, they will have that opportunity to make it even earlier so that they can represent their new team at the Club World Cup. So I think that makes it tricky because it gives an advantage for the teams playing in the Club World Cup to have their players even early, and I don't know how that they'll make sure to level the advantage of that with the other teams that are not playing the Club World Cup and all that. But I don't that's something that for FIFA to it's for them to discuss. Germany, Manuel Neuer retired, but there's also the injury of Ter Stegen, who we know is going to be out for a very long time. So Germany, they have selected 3 goalkeepers that are all uncapped for the upcoming Nation League games against Bosnia and the Netherlands. Excuse me. Oliver Bräumen, Janis Belaswich, and Stuttgart Alexander Nobel, all on Thursday, will be in the squad. These are all players that are all uncapped. It'll be interesting to see who will be stepping up in goal for Julian Nagelsmann. Obviously, this is not an epidemic because the World Cup doesn't start tomorrow, and Ter Stegen, he'll be back and available way before that World Cup. But it's gonna be something to discover. I'm sorry, I was in the middle of that. I had a little bit pause because I was reading this headline and I couldn't believe what I saw. So apparently Luis Suarez, Luis Suarez, he recently retired from Uruguay, and he was involved in that last team in the Copa America, and he had that one game in World Cup qualifier, that send-off game for Uruguay. He blasted Marcelo Bielsa, and he said there was problematic working conditions imposed by Marcelo Bielsa during that Copa America, and he urged fans to not blame the players if something goes wrong going forward. Luis Suarez said, at the Celeste complex, employees are not allowed to come in and greet us and eat with us. They have to be careful even at the door they have to enter. It breaks my heart that this is how life is in the complex today. Matias Vecina was the first to see it coming. Nobody questions the fact that a guy like Vecina Vecino, who was 30 years old, left from one day to the next. There were situations, he continued on Luis Suarez, there were situations at the Copa America that hurt me, but I didn't say them for the sake of coexistence. Many players held a meeting to ask the coach to at least say good morning to us, but he didn't even say hello. Bielsa gives a conference and talks wonderful things about people, and in New York there was a day when he asked us not to stop to greet people, and I stood up and told him that we were going to greet people anyway. Yeah, wow. Okay, well, it keeps going actually. Before he retired, before he hung up his jersey, Suarez did say he spoke with Bielsa, trying to improve the current, manner. He said, I had a 5-minute chat with Bielsa, speaking as a group leader, and at the end, he only replied, thank you very much. Tomorrow, I asked people not to take it out on the players if something goes wrong. Bielsa has separated the whole group, even in the way they train. Wow, that is a bomb. That is a bomb, and I guess Luis Suarez trying to maintain the peace and all that, doesn't want to be too problematic. He didn't want to say anything in there, and he said, he spoke to Marcelo Bielsa afterwards. From what he's saying, and he's trying to improve the situation, and it didn't seem like Bielsa was willing to actually, we don't know the tone in which he said the thank you very much. But going back though, like, wow, if that's the case, he didn't even say hello. He wouldn't even say good morning. That reminds me of, go back to Nuggets days way back, with George Karl, Kenyon Martin. When he was speaking about George Karl, he said George Karl wouldn't even say hello, and it showed the arrogance of him. He didn't even say hello. I don't know. Obviously, this is Luis Suarez's perspective. This is something, it's only from Luis Suarez. Maybe we want to see other I'm not questioning the integrity of Luis Suarez. I think what he's done for Uruguay, he deserved the respect of his opinion, and he should be believed. But at the same time, I would like to hear from maybe other players, obviously players that are not involved with Uruguay. They're not going to say it now, but is it the case? Because this is not something I've really heard, during his time at Leeds with Marcelo Bielsa. We know Bielsa, el loco style of play. He has that sort of philosophy, and they've done well since he's came in, and he is a top manager. But wow, if it's true, the divide is creating, the not having the personal relationship with the players that we expect of a manager to have. I have to be honest, I'm stunned by this, and I'm just hearing about this as I was reading it right now. So this is something I need to go look into more and hear more about. So that's just astonishing. But thank you guys for tuning into the GSMC Soccer Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. So thank you once again, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of